This is the Klarpul Cordless Vacuum Cleaner, model KL001. I picked it up because I was tired of juggling a clunky corded upright for deep cleans and a weak cordless for quick messes. I wanted one stick that could actually handle pet hair and carpets without feeling like a compromise. After using it around my place for a few weeks, here's how it's been going. No fluff, just real daily use. In terms of where it fits, I'll put it between the budget sticks that feel underpowered and the premium flagships with fancy extras. It's for someone who wants strong suction, longer runtime, and simple controls without paying top-tier pricing. If you live in an apartment or a medium-sized home, or you've got pets and a mix of floors and rugs, this is the kind of tool that can live on your main floor and get used daily. What stood out to me right away was how practical it feels once you start cleaning. On my hardwood in eco mode, it glides quietly and doesn't snowplow debris. The LED lights on the floor head seem like a gimmick until you aim them under a couch or along baseboards and realize how much dust you were missing. I tested it with a sprinkle of oatmeal and cat litter, and it pulled everything up in one pass without scattering. The steering is smooth, the head swivels easily around chair legs, and the handle doesn't force my wrist into a weird angle. The self-standing design might be my favorite everyday convenience. I can stop mid-clean, let it stand on its own, move a chair, open a door, pick up a call, and keep going without hunting for a wall to lean it on. It sounds small, but it keeps me from breaking the flow. On carpets, the jump in power feels real. I run mid-mode on my living room rug and only switch to boost for high-traffic spots or entry mats. Boost is strong enough that it will tug lighter rugs, but the payoff is seeing fine dust swirl into the canister that my old cordless never touched. With Boost, I treat it like a spot clean tool because the battery drops fast. With a mix of Eco and Mid, I can do my whole place in one session. Eco stretches around an hour or a little more on hard floors, Mid gets me about a half hour, and Boost is closer to short bursts. Charging back up in about 2.5 hours fits my routine. I clean, toss the battery on the charger, and it's ready by the next session. Power also feels consistent. It doesn't fade in a way that forces me to rush before the last few minutes. The touchscreen is more helpful than I expected. I like seeing the exact battery percentage instead of guessing with bars. Tapping through Eco, Mid, and Boost is quick, and not having to hold a trigger saves my hand during longer sessions. I haven't hit any error messages, but knowing it will throw an alert for a blockage or charger issue is reassuring. Noise is reasonable. On Eco, it's a low hum I can live with if someone else is watching TV in the next room. On Boost, it's louder with a sharper pitch, but it sounds like air moving rather than a screechy motor. Build quality is light but not flimsy. The main body and bin are plastic, the wand feels solid, and all the latches have a confident click. It's around 6 pounds, which is easy to push on the floor. Overhead cleaning is where the top-heavy design shows up. Holding it up to do vents or curtains works, but my wrist feels it after a few minutes. That's normal for sticks with the motor in the handle, but it's worth noting if you love cleaning above floor areas. The dust bin is bigger than a lot of sticks I've used, and it empties with a bottom release door. Most dirt falls out cleanly, but long hair can wrap around the inner shroud. I've had to reach in and pull a clump out a couple times, especially after going over the dog's bed. The roller comes out with a latch, and that makes cutting hair off the brush roll painless. I wash the pre-filter and let it dry overnight. If I rush that step, it hurts performance, so I just do it before bed and pop it back in the next day. I don't get any dusty smell when it's running, which tells me the filtration is doing its job. Allergies haven't flared up after a clean, and that's a big win in my house. As for tools, I've been using the crevice tool for baseboards, couch edges, and the car seats. With the motor unit in handheld mode, the suction still feels strong, but the body is a little bulky in tight spaces under car seats. The 2-in-1 brush is great for blinds, vents, and shelves. Soft enough not to scratch, stiff enough to lift dust so the suction catches it. Compared to my older corded upright, Klarpul is just easier to live with. The upright still has that brute force deep clean, but dragging a cord around and swapping outlets kills the momentum for quick jobs. Klarpul gives me most of that deep clean feeling on carpets when I use Boost, and it's a lot more satisfying for everyday maintenance because I can just grab it and go. I also borrowed a friend's premium stick for a weekend. That one felt flashier and had automatic floor detection, which is nice but not essential to me. Klarpul makes me tap the screen to change power, and that's fine. The cleaning results were closer than I expected. If you want every extra feature under the sun, those higher-end models still have an edge. If you care more about strong suction, decent battery life, and practical design, Klarpul holds its own. There are a few things that aren't perfect. The top-heavy feel during overhead work can get tiring. If you live with multiple long-haired pets, plan to empty the bin more often and clear the shroud occasionally. Charging in 2.5 hours is fast enough, but if you do a full deep clean and boost across a big carpeted space, you'll either ration power modes like I do, or think about a spare battery. None of these are deal breakers for me, but they're real factors that shape how I use it. On value, I'm impressed. It cleans like a more expensive stick, hits that sweet spot between power and weight, and the self-standing thing turns out to be something I use constantly. After a few weeks, I reach for it without thinking. That's how I know it's working for my routine. It saves me time and doesn't fight me while I'm cleaning. If you've got questions about specific use cases, stairs, car detailing, long hair, or comparing it to something you're considering, drop them below and I'll reply based on what I've tried. If you want me to test a particular scenario in another video, say the word. I will leave all the information about the Klarpul Cordless Vacuum Cleaner in the comments. I hope to see you again in the following videos.